Muse, as much as I hate to say this, I'm going to be leaving you out of this conversation once again. I know that you and I haven't really had any kind of tete-a-tetes worth bringing home, taking to the parents or whatever. Do you have parents? I probably don't want to know. Anyway, I want to talk about the one thing that it seems every author like myself is talking about. Seems like the only thing that we can talk about these days. And it really has very little to do with the craft of writing. Well, on the surface, it doesn't have anything to do with the craft of writing. And the subject that I want to talk about is one that seems to get a little bit more bleak with every passing day. And that subject is, I don't even want to say it, but I'm going to say it. Book sales. Yeah, that one. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I don't even want to talk about it because I've talked myself till I'm blue in the face about it with my constituents, with my fellow authors, and the consensus is, that's the consensus. In fact, I've even had writers come to me saying they're about to give up, that they're losing money hand over fist because of editing, costs of editing and web hosting and this and that. And what to say to them? I think that the truth of the matter is, and this is also the heart of the matter, is that every artist has been there. Every artist has struggled. Every artist struggles throughout the career. I mean, think about it. I was watching something on television the other night, and I'm not going to mention any names, but an older performer was on the screen for whatever reason, and one of the things I thought about was I felt sorry for that performer, because it was obvious that they were desperately scrambling to try to grasp some form of relevancy once again. And you have to wonder that they had been missing. They'd been MIA for a while. And you have to wonder, what were they doing between them having some sort of celebrity and now? Were they flipping burgers? Did they have some marketable skill they could use? Were they an office manager somewhere or a car mechanic? Or what were they doing to pay the bills? Because unfortunately, especially in certain countries, art is a hard road to toe, especially when it comes to paying the bills. And so every artist that I have known has had to be very adaptable and very agile, be able to spin on a dime, to find some way to bide their time until their art took off again. Because it's one of the biggest struggles that artists suffer, is relevancy, because it comes and goes. The thing that is chic du jour is very fickle. I mean, think about it. Think about when the Twilight series was all the rage. And then it kind of died off, and you haven't heard from that author. Or, and then that you can point at any given book series or television series, with some exception, of course, or musician. They come and go. And the idea, however, is to keep coming. But we live in a culture right now where there is so much available with which to bide our time. binge watching Netflix. Who isn't doing that? Right now, the wife and I are binge watching Broadchurch. And we were binge watching Will and Grace, and we were binge watching Mom, and we were binge watching this and that and everything else. So, with all of this stuff to take our attention away from us, every artist has to hope that their product, that their piece of work is one of those things that the viewers, the readers, the watchers, the listeners will give them time. And there are only so many people out there. And it seems at this moment there is an imbalance between consumers and product. And consumers only have so much money to spend on certain products. And certain mediums are going to fade away faster than others. And that is just the reality of our current situation. And right at the top, you have television and movies. Below that, you have music. Below that, you have video games. Below that, you have comics. Below that, you have books. So you could see where books fall in the hierarchy. I don't have any numbers to back that up at the moment, but I think it's a pretty safe bet. Otherwise, you would have a convention for books as big as Comic-Con. And you don't, and we won't. But the truth of the matter is, and this is really the heart of the issue, is that any writer that is considering giving up because book sales aren't there, you have to ask yourself this one question. And this is a question that someone very important to me asked years ago, back when I was struggling mightily. In fact, at the time, I was one of those writers considering giving up because there were no book sales to be had. And this person asked me a very simple question. If no one bought your books, would you still write? And without hesitation, I said, yes, I would still write. Why? Because I have to. I was an actor for 30 years. I was an artist. I have been an artist since I was a little kid in one form or another. If I don't have an outlet for that artistry, I lose my mind. I've been there for a brief period of time in my life where I for whatever reason, I had to take a desk job. And the 3 years that I sat behind a desk without any outlet for my art, I lost my mind. I became something that I wasn't. Now, there was another period in my life where I had to take another job. But at that time, and it was a horrible, horrible job. But at that time, I was writing. And had it not been for my writing, I don't know how I would have made it through that period. It was that bad. And so I am a firm believer that if you are an artist, you cannot be, if you are more than one artist, then you might need psychological help. That's another topic that I don't want to talk about. If you are an artist, a true artist, you have no choice but to create. Be that acting, music, dance, painting, sculpture, writing. You have no choice. And so to anybody out there that is saying, I'm thinking about just giving up, you have to ask yourself, am I an artist? Or is this just a hobby? If it's just a hobby, then giving up would not hurt you. You're just giving up a hobby. If you're an artist, giving up will cause you problems. It may not happen at first, You may be okay for a while, but eventually it's going to begin to haunt you. It will become something on your back that you cannot get off until you start creating again. It's hard right now. There is no denying that. Considering there are over 10 million books on Amazon. I don't even know if there are 10 million readers in America right now. But there are more writers, I believe, than there are readers at the moment. Reading is simply not chic. It should be, but it's not. But it will eventually come back around to the point where reading is the thing. And when it does, you'll be grateful and thankful that you didn't give up. And so, to every artist out there considering giving up on their craft, I warn you, the soulful and heartful backlash that you will suffer will be mighty, and you will regret giving it up. So don't. Okay. Muse, it's back to me and you. I've made my public service announcement. So, hey, I'm going to dive back into Suicide Machine. The Dead Twin Sister is finished. Fine. Complete. It is done. Boom. Now I'm going to dive back into Suicide Machine, get it ready for beta readers, send it out, and let them enjoy it because it's a heck of a story. And then Muse, you and I, Muse, we have something really freaking special to write. You know what I'm talking about too, don't you? You know. And we're going to write the hell out of it. Anyway, that's all I got today, Muse. I'll be back again in 1 week. Maybe sooner. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out.